The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and the Tech Insider, David White.
And welcome, folks. It's a beautiful August 8th, 2010. Today is Odie's Day. I think pronounced the United States Odies. Not the... and Odie, of course, is the dog friend of Garfield. I was never a big Garfield fan. I know a lot of people really got into it. I think it's probably because when he was hot, Dilbert was hot. Dilbert was my kind of guy. Maybe there's a Dilbert Day. I'll have to check that. But... pretty good. Dilbert, of course, or Odie's the dog. I actually saw the movie. Kind of average, but I don't know. The guy in it that was starred in the movie was he's in Bash in something or other now. He's got a kind of neat television show. I think it's on TBS. Something in Bash. Maybe I'll think of it in a minute. But kind of interesting day out here. We've got commies going wild. In case you missed it, I really haven't seen it on TV so much. The new president of France is vowing to impose a 75% tax on a portion of anyone's income above €1 million. And you know that socialist democracies, as they start to fail, are looking for any kind of way that they can hang on to something. Unfortunately, even his vow to do this has caused a small stampede to the office, trying to find out whether or not they can go to yet another country and maybe take their money offshore. So, there's some articles about that today, but the problem with trying to do something like that is eventually you run out of everybody else's money and you will go broke just the same. The only difference is they'll get a little money this year, and in the subsequent years everybody will find a way to hide it. They will leave the country or something else gone wild. But I think we can, I think Europe is a great model for what can happen to us as we go down this road of spending more and thinking that someone else besides us will eventually pay for it. I think all those people in Greece all thought that someone else would. Everybody in Spain thinks Germany should. It's just not going to happen. One day somebody will just not show up, and that will be the end of it, and will be Greece. But I don't know. It's just socialist democracies destined to fail. But when we look at some of the earnings reports out last night, we're going to go into Priceline today. Some of the others, McDonald's, they're all saying the same thing, and that is euro is really getting weak. And we'll see how that plays out. McDonald's said U.S. sales were down just 0.1%, nothing. Europe down 0.6. Asia Pacific, Middle East, and Africa down 1.5%. But their forecasts are going to be much steeper in Europe, and that's pretty much what was hitting McDonald's today. eBay has same-day delivery. I think we covered that yesterday, actually. Dealing with the devil. Richard Meddlings is the gentleman that has been identified as the wiretap, saying, you fornicating Americans, who are you to tell us the rest of the world we're going to deal, or that we're not going to deal with the Iranians. Kind of famous for this bank scandal from Standard. Kind of interesting, kind of made me think of a lot of those World War II films, pre-World War II, where all the industrialists were more than willing to work with Germany going into the Second War. This is not a bunch of guys that are out there just having fun. These are guys that's saying, we want to kill everybody in Israel that isn't Israeli, that's a Jew. We believe that if we go down into this well, the 13th Imam is going to start a nuclear war, and the conflagration in the end will mean everybody in the world will be Muslims. Probably not too nutty different from the Nazis. But there's always, a few people willing to support extremely fringe people if there's money in it. And I don't see any difference between this guy and a lot of the horrible industrialists that supported Hitler and his rise to power. They can all look the other way as long as they make a few bucks. If we see a nuclear weapon used in Iran or by Iran, I think this guy could probably take a lot of the blame. He was willing to help basically launder $600 billion worth of money. I've heard a lot of different numbers, but that's the one that everybody's now coming up with. And, of course, they make a very small percentage on that, but they were more than willing to handle all the kind of transactions, even though it was forbidden from the New York banks. Of course, a lot of finger-pointing now that the federal government wanted to make a deal with this bank. It looks to me like someone wanted to make a name for themselves in New York and wanted to short-circuit them getting a sweetheart deal by letting all this information out early. I think the fine that this bank is eventually going to pay is going to be probably 3 or 4 times what it would have been in the secret negotiations that had been going on. Starbucks bought a big put $25 million into Square. I've talked about Square somewhat on the Tech Insider. It's the kind of the equal of Visa or MasterCard for electronic payments. Howard Schultz, the CEO of Starbucks, will join the board. Of course, they've been doing like $1 billion more each month. Like I think at the beginning of the summer they were doing about $4 billion. They're up to doing about $8 billion a month. And if you could add $1 billion to your business every single month, it'd be pretty cool. But I think this brings up a bigger issue, which is who's going to win the chip war for the chip that will be in all the phones out there. It will probably be the equivalent of the next Qualcomm, next Broadcom. There's a lot of huge amount of money in this near-field communications to be made. I, for the life of me, can't figure out who's going to win. One is that all these people, including Visa and MasterCard, and eventually, I think, Square, are going to have to come up with one standard. Kind of interestingly enough, there was a big hacker convention in Las Vegas last week where they showed how they could hack the Square version of this almost instantaneously, get all the information, and start making instant charges. Once you make something a radio frequency, it is 10 times faster to be able to go and hack it. You can look and listen to both sides of the communication, and it doesn't take anything more than a shopping bag or a briefcase filled with the electronics while you're standing there. But if you're in 5 or 10 feet of this thing, you can hear pretty much both sides of the conversation. There's going to have to be some kind of really decent security that doesn't exist today. If this actually becomes hugely widely accepted, I suspect the amount of fraud could be astronomical. Now, maybe someone's come up with a chip that really can encode this in real time, or at least fast enough to not do it. But as of last weekend, all these kind of near-field communications chips have been easily shown to be breakable. But we'll have to see how that goes. Other things going on, we're paying a lot of attention to the Apple Google lawsuit right now. We're actually looking at a past lawsuit that's actually starting to be cleaned up. And the judge has gone and said that both Oracle and Google have been ordered to disclose the name of the journalists and bloggers they paid to comment on their own ongoing copyright case. Basically, there was a gag order on both companies, so both of them decided to hire bloggers and basically pay those bloggers to get their word out. Third party, there may be some sanctions by the judge on that case, but don't put this past Apple and Google, and Apple and Samsung and their ongoing thing. I think a lot of people thought that they could get away with it. Most amazingly, that the judge is going to put this out in open court. Probably going to be rather a black eye for both Oracle and Google with their case. Microsoft is working on the Surface version 2 already. There are a lot of places that they think that they can work on it and make it better. They're trying to get a second version of that out within 6 months. Acer Communications is, and their CEO has been kind of obnoxiously saying that Microsoft surely shouldn't be making their own products. The problem is that a lot of the work that Microsoft's doing, the money they're spending, is stuff that Acer would never ever spend their money for. They only work with proven cheap technologies. Microsoft has got lots of jobs ads out right now that are people that work with materials engineering, including metals, ceramics, plastics, thin films, and finishing processes as paint, plating, and basically it's vapor deposition, which is the abbreviation PVD. But looks like they're moving on. The keyboard has gotten a lot better from people inside Microsoft. It's gone from kind of a clicky, flat keyboard, probably why they didn't have a lot of people working on it when they first showed it. But it's improved vastly. It's got a much better feel. And they say a lot of people that have used the new one that'll ship October 26th say it's kind of got a wonderful kind of silicon slash velvety feel, and actually the keyboard's supposed to have some kind of nice tactile feel back inside the keyboard now, which is kind of interesting, so we'll have to take a look at that. Solar is starting to depend on a lot on the election. We're seeing companies like First Solar come off the bottom pretty hard. Apparently, even though just about everything the current administration has touched in solar companies and all the loan guarantees, they're batting about 100% now, with all of them pretty much blowing up. There are 4 major products ready to go, and it looks like if Obama wins, they will go through probably early next year. If he doesn't win, it looks like he's pretty much promised that a lot of these major projects will go in the day after he doesn't get elected, and he'll make sure that they all get funded before he leaves office. Kind of the funny part of this is the head of the Senate, the senator with the most power, has a son. And guess what he does? He's the Chinese solar firm's lobbyist. So I would suspect that we want to probably keep an eye on some of those solar companies and find out which ones of them have the in on the political fray. It looks a lot like First Solar has got the at least getting most of the juice out of this information so far, but be kind of interesting, but we'll have to see. But kind of hard to go wrong when you're the son of the head of the Senate. Anyway, we'll be back in just a minute.
Kate Stalter's exciting newsletter, Low Priced Leaders, has just launched, and now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial. Every Wednesday afternoon, Kate sends out her weekly newsletter to her subscribers, where she focuses on small cap stocks with market caps under $2 billion, as well as low-priced equities with share prices ranging from $5 to $12. Kate tracks a variety of stocks with a combination of strong technical support and solid fundamentals. Many of the stocks featured will be recent IPOs. These newer issues are often some of the biggest price gainers in the market and provide an excellent opportunity for substantial gains if timed correctly. You can catch Kate Stalter live on Tiger TV with her Small Cap Roundup every Tuesday and Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and visit TFNN.com right now to get your 2-week free trial to her brand new newsletter, Low Priced Leaders, while locking in the low introductory monthly rate of only $37.50 per month, almost a 50% discount. Act now.
With the launch of Tiger TV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, Kate Stalter, David White, Larry Pesavento, Victor Jones, or Carol Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor, Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen, live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den, absolutely free, for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
Millionaires are made every day. The fact is, living your dreams is possible. Someone, somewhere is going to get rich. My recommendation is, let that be you. Each day, someone is making the decision to better themselves and creating a plan to fulfill their financial dreams. Let that be you. The key to turning dreams into reality is to take massive action. Let that be you. I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of the Money Master Show with Tom O'Brien, seen daily at TFNN, and I can help you with your journey to great wealth. I'll show you how to create the ultimate financial edge, a set of tools, insights, and strategies that are part of my daily newsletter service, Mastering Probability. You'll have direct access to me by phone, email, and my private library of trading and investing secrets for 30 days with an unconditional money-back guarantee. I'll take your trading to the next level. Click on my name, Steve Rhodes, on the homepage at TFNN.com and turn your dreams into reality. Mastering Probability, folks. Let that be you.
This segment is brought to you by Goldfields. For more information, just click the Goldfields banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
As we come back, HP announced organizational changes this morning, a little bit before the bell. Got a little pop up about 2.5%. Looks like Meg Whitman is starting to get her house in order. Market liked the changes and decided to reward it a little bit. You know, up 50 cents, not that big a deal. But on a day when we have absolutely zero vapor-like volume, it's kind of interesting. Of course, I tweeted out, people, they get my newsletter. I have a tweet service, and I put out my buys and sells on that tweet service, but I also put out commentary when it really is necessary. And we're just talking about the kind of volume that we've seen today, which is absolutely, it has been absolutely scary from about, probably 10:15 through 12 o'clock was, just almost nothing. Market tried to go a little higher. We're just under 1,400 on the S&P as we speak, and we've got about 2 million shares. But there was probably an hour and a half where we were averaging something like about maybe 2 million shares on the New York's consolidated tape per minute. To get 3 billion shares a day, you still have to have 7.5 million shares a minute. So when you look at that, you just have to say, we're doing about 1/3, 1/4 of volume to do just a really average. In fact, not even a great day. In fact, 3.5 billion shares would be about where we need to be just to even think that we're going to go any higher, and that would be very iffy even at 3.5 billion. This was projecting us at about 10 till noon with about 2.4 billion shares on the day, or 2.3. The projection at that run rate was just pathetic. We've, of course, popped back up, probably going to come in with about 3.2 billion shares today. It is Weird Wally Wednesday, and that means that options are being sold delta neutral. It is the equivalent of making sure that you sell arms to both sides. So whichever side wins, it doesn't matter. You are going to be okay. And that's what they do when they get into these last 8 trading days, actually 7 trading days before expiration. The whole thing is to set up or put on positions, buy or sell the underlying stocks, buy or sell your actual options. So no matter which way the market moves, you pretty much have locked in your profits because it's just too dangerous in the last 8 days. What we saw was the VIX kind of come up a little bit. It was down in 15s yesterday. I didn't look at it. Let me see if I can pull it up here real quick. It's back in there. It's looking not too bad. 15.69. This is where you get into this 15 range. Somewhere, 15 is kind of the high end. About 12 on the VIX is the low end of where you would actually think about buying puts on a market, especially if you get into 30, 60 days, rather than actually buying the actual underlying stock. It can be cheaper to hold puts in this range if you are expecting a big change. That the VIX is in this kind of range with extremely light volume really is a kind of clarion call that we could continue to have some big moves. Normally you get the VIX down in this area somewhere under 16 to 12 and you have some a market that can have huge volatility just because everybody seems to be on one side of the market if they think that there's so little chance that the market goes lower. But that's pretty much it. We're going to go through some stocks. I wanted to go through first with Priceline today, BCRLN. We talked about it a little yesterday, and this is a great stock. When I talked about going back and this thing having built a huge amount of steam over the last 60, 90, or 30, 60 days in this movement. And I thought that this thing was, if there was a stock that was going to have a huge movement, it was going to be Priceline. We heard a lot about the rumors, talked about them yesterday, about Priceline making less money. They make virtually no money off of selling plane tickets. What they want you to do is buy the plane tickets and then set up the hotel reservations. If you notice the ads, they spend very little time talking about plane tickets. If there's money to be made in plane tickets, mostly the airlines now are just taking those routes off service to make sure they can fly with as close to 100%. Anyway, we're going to talk about this a little bit, but very narrow trading range. No real big, huge days over those. Back down to the bottom of what was resistance not too long ago. But a great chart to study if you want to see how building up steam for an eventual breakthrough works. We'll be back in a minute.
Would you like a personal update from Tom O'Brien as to what equities he's trading and what his daily trading plan is before the market opens each morning? Every market day, Tom O'Brien sends out his daily newsletter, Market Insights, to hundreds of subscribers that rely on his daily recommendations when it comes to navigating these highly volatile markets we're dealing with. As recently as May 21st, Market Insights subscribers closed out all 5 open positions for a combined profit of over 68% in one day. Profits ranged from 6.5% to over 24%, and all of these trades had been initiated within the previous 30 days. Now is the perfect time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's explosive trading newsletter, Market Insights, an $85 value. Tom breaks down the market each morning with his market take and provides trade recommendations including precise stops and target profit zones, leaving nothing left to guessing. Log on to TFNN.com today and sign up for your 2-week free trial. Make sure you're a subscriber the next time Market Insights subscribers close out multiple winning trades. Take action and sign up for your free trial today. If you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates. Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Smith Barney. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportion of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney believes that a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Smith Barney financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Certified Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC. Member SIPC.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Crocodile Gold. For more information, just click the Crocodile Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
We had a comment from the Den, and I think it's Mark from Boston in the Den, to take a look at Easy Chip. I was watching this stock. What I didn't like before the earnings today was that they had slightly higher volume than that previous high. But I think this is part Easy Chip makes specialized chips for routers, especially high-end routers. And I think part of what they've got here going on in this huge gap down today, if you're not watching on Tiger TV, this thing hit a high yesterday of $40.34 and hit a low today of $28.60. So basically taking off about 25% pretty quickly on here. But it is, let me do some quick. Easy CH. They're off 25%, which is about accurate. 29.21 is the last tick on it, but it's kind of all these all or nothing. But apparently, a lot of people are very worried about. I think it's Nicira. That's the name of the company when VMware bought them. And looks like from what everybody is saying, they're very worried about the future of these companies like Easy Chip, where they think that the future in routers and router technology and networking technologies is going to be virtualized hardware. Most of these chips have little to do with that. I think that maybe it's a little overreaction, but I don't think anybody right now is placing a lot of orders. A lot of people cutting back in this whole network space. They make Ethernet network processors for networking equipment is what they're called. But basically, they make network processors. Think of the Intel for a router. Processing, classifying engines, traffic management, media access controllers, hardware blocks, and basically a lot of other chips that go into this side, virtualizing the hardware and the software from each other with that Insera stuff that VMware bought. A lot of people very nervous about that along with just a declining business in EasyChip, but a huge move down there. Dean Foods, there's a lot of these stocks that are very, very highly short. We're seeing a pretty nice move back up to the previous high today on heavy volume from Dean's Foods. Symbol is a DF. When you got the previous high at $17.25, that had 2.3 million shares. You've got basically 23 million shares here already today, and you've gone a couple pennies over it. Probably see a lot of resistance at that, but boy, what a chart out there, isn't it? Moved very far, huge pullback, and a giant short squeeze out here today. Dish came out with earnings today also. Dish Network, we talked a little bit about them and their hopper, really trying to get back in the game. Internet is really hurting a lot of these companies like Netflix and Dish and some of the other satellite-based cable, for a better word, cable TV systems. Not a whole lot of movement out in Dish here today. Didn't expect it, but kind of a lukewarm reception for the earnings. After the bell, we've got Dun & Bradstreet today. This is one that's had some fairly strong action already, but we'll be looking for them. D&B is the symbol on them. HFC, another one. I think this is Holly Frontier after the bell, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check on that. On the headlines, is that correct? Disclosure today. Take earnings before mark. Oh no, it came out this morning. Profit rises on higher refining margins, but not doing a whole lot here today. Volume's kind of light and a little bit of pullback, maybe driving the general market out here. Liberty Media Corporation. Apparently this is the day for all those guys to get things out there. Check for their headlines and see. It's talking about a spinoff and should Star spinoff and Cirrus deal ahead. Up a little bit higher on Liberty Media. Symbol is LMCA. Hit a high today of about 102.94. Good volume so far, 1.4 million shares, but looks like we probably have not a whole lot of in that. Macy's also on its coming out, trying to get up to the previous high, $39.05 on May 29th, getting very close to that. Volume, pretty good, 7.1 today. Its profit surge remain a gem in the retail space, according to some out there. Let's see if there's anything else on Macy. 16% hike in Q2 network. Stock steady after 3-day rise. Not a whole lot. Looks like it's going to try to get up here and test this 39.05 as we watch it. Another one out here we could possibly test. Monster Beverage Corporation. Of course, you can't hardly go anywhere in motorsports right now without seeing something about Monster. See if what we've got on that. MNST, he said. Previewing our aftermarket close today. See if there's anything. Not a whole lot in that right now. So we've got aftermarket close in this. This is another one that I was looking at that looks like it's setting up for a big move. Might be one that you could play after hours. I was lucky enough to get an order in a Priceline after hours yesterday, but it's kind of hit or miss whether you can, if you can process the news fast enough to figure out what some of these are doing. The reason I want to point the Monster beverage out is it's got a great thing, or a great setup. A lot of times people will call this, let me get a little bit bigger thing out here, an asymmetrical triangle, where you can kind of draw a triangle. It kind of looks like a greater than symbol. Normally you see these things like this where it's had a lower low. That July 23rd low at $61.72 had about 1 million shares more than the May 9th low, and of course so it went below it, it turned around, came back above it. Really hasn't bounced that much. But this is one that is another one, I think, that if you could get the order in, and you're lucky, and this thing fails, it's going to, looks like it wants to run right to 50. If you're wrong, it's probably going to get back up to about maybe 75, but there's a lot of energy watching that stock over and looking at the intraday trades over this. A lot of people, looks like it's one of those stocks that probably has a high short interest right now, and if they're right, it's probably going to get hammered, and if it's not, probably going to have a huge bounce out there. So that's the one I'm picking for some big new moves tonight as we watch this. Let's see if there's anything else out here. Nuon going to be kind of interesting, of course. They launched just last week a new toolkit so you can add Siri-like features in a lot of your application. Siri's kind of been a bit of malign technology. Probably came out a little bit before it was ready in Apple's 4S. People really like to play with it, but still needs a lot of work. Not a complete or finished product, even when you talk to Apple. But pretty much all the basis for this stuff came from Nuon. Of course, they're trying to make some money now. Didn't make a whole lot of money. Although stock ran up into that. When you saw that 31 high up there, come to find out that their licensing deal with Apple was not all that big. Looks like Nuance may have a good opportunity to make some money going forward, but we'll have to take a look at that. I'm pretty sure that's after the bell today. Let's see if we get the headlines for it. Nuon Communications. Maybe it was earlier this morning. I don't see it. Rise after takeover interest in Immodal. Okay, anyway, we'll keep an eye on that. Panel, P-A-N-L, is Universal Display Corporation. Cree did come out last night. We want to check on that. C-R-E-E. And see how they responded. Got kind of a little bit of a dragonfly doji out on Cree. Let me check on that one real quick also. Not a lot of volume, but kind of a nice movement. Yeah, the Cree beat on EPS, but the GAAP results were lagging. Again, this is one of those tough companies to be in right now. They want to replace lighting with LED lighting, but there's still a lot of problems with LED lighting. The technology is still waiting to catch up to the promise of what LED can be. And of course, we see a lot of articles about new LED and organic LED technology that might be much better in the near future. I'm kind of waiting for that before I get into either Panel or Cree out here. But certainly not a lot of volume in what we see out here in Cree. It's got two huge gaps up, and it's at that resistance level. Those came down on about 10 million for the first gap, and about 8 million for the second gap. That we're doing 2 million into that gap. Not a lot of reassurance back in there. It did kind of make a nice little bottom, and we've seen some nice movement out here. But you're probably looking at 22s at the low end of the trading range, and I would suspect we may have seen the high in Cree today for a while. Just doesn't look that good depending on the market. We'll go back here. I want to check the broad markets here as we get closer in and see what's happening here. Let me get a refresh. Volume still just crawling along. 2.16 billion shares right now. Market's totally flat. Normally we get you start to get a break about 2 o'clock on options expiration day, and either that's the high of the day or it's the low of the day, depending on which way they want to push it. We are totally flat, so we're probably going to have some kind of what do we open at? It's got to be close to looking fairly doji-ish. Let me put it that way out here at the high. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that, but not a lot of effort and certainly no volume. Let's see, we're at 246, so that gives us an hour and 15 minutes. And of course, you can do kind of back of the envelope projections, but that's going to put us in about probably about 2.8 billion shares at the current run rate, which is pretty pathetic out there. Certainly not looking like we've got that kind of volume. Had a couple in the newsletter with the very light volume. Let them run a little bit more. One has paid off, one of them hasn't. The one that pretty much came back in the trading range, even though I gave it an extra percent or maybe about 2% higher stop just because of the extreme light volume in the open yesterday. Pretty much came back, but it looks to me like we've got a lot of these stocks doing the little short squeeze right before the end of them totally rolling over. Normally I would have probably closed a few of these shorts out, but they're right back to where they should be. And on this incredibly light volume, it's very hard for me to capitulate being short, even if I've got some fairly minor losses at the moment. Actually, a couple of our stocks in the daily newsletter are actually paying off. They are in the real estate sector, kind of the weakest of the markets right now. Let me see what we got. We've got the we've got pretty much somewhere off just a little less than 1% on the real estate ETFs today. Kind of telling they were weak yesterday, and there's, I guess the guy from the Schiller Report is saying that he doesn't think until next spring that we'll have an actual bottom. But that's, I guess, some of his work that he does on the major markets out there, and we'll continue looking at those. Ralph Lauren, kind of a little bit of work here today. I think let me go ahead and check on the news, but I'm pretty sure that they had the same kind of report that basically Priceline came out and basically saying a lot of weakness, in fact, extreme weakness in euro right now. Yeah, pretty much. Retail's outlook, amazing sector. Yeah, pretty much. As I look at the news here, they're saying the same kind of thing. That they're going to have problems both as the dollar strengthens and seeing lots of weakness in the euro. They were off a lot bigger, down to, let's see what we had here for a low today, 142.39. Reversed a lot of that, a lot of volume in this stock, at least out there today, but right back in the gap area. Of course, a nice little reversal signal up here at the top. Kind of a little abandoned baby out here from yesterday's little inverted hammer. But we'll see how that works. A lot of volume today, though. We'll look at some of the other stocks making signals when we come back.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll you'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try patterns, profits, and peace of mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's patterns, profits, and peace of mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the Rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Time is the great equalizer of all mankind. Time doesn't care about winners or losers, who succeeds or fails. Time only cares that you played the game. Question: are you playing the money game? Is your money working as hard for you as you are for it? I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, a daily trading and investment newsletter service, and we're celebrating our 1-year anniversary. In year 1, we generated a 30% profit. Plus, I provided 26 hours of live coaching to my clients. My daily newsletter service is available by 8 a.m. each day and covers the stock, futures, currency, and commodity markets, along with all the current patterns that you can trade. Each newsletter is packed with education, and it's yours for as little as $3 per day. And for the next 30 days, you can try it risk-free. Click on my name, Steve Rhodes, on the homepage of TFNN.com and begin your journey to great wealth today. If you're waiting for a better tomorrow, remember this: today's tomorrow will soon be yesterday, and your clock is ticking. Mastering Probability. Now is your time.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Probably wanted to go to the IVW. It's the iShares of S&P 500 Growth Index Fund. Made a nice signal for us up here. And if you're thinking that the market's kind of toppy, I wanted to go through this. April 2nd high, $76.19, 1.1 million shares. Tried to get into it on May 1st with basically 600,000 shares, or about half the volume. Now we're getting into it. Yesterday made a nice little inverted hammer kind of doji, and 520,000 shares. Kind of hard to not believe that we won't come back and fill a couple of these large gaps in the S&P Growth Index Fund, but not, we've ratcheted up pretty much up to these highs, and not just, you can see the volume here over the last 5-6 days in this thing. We've had very, very light volume. A lot of people are talking about 1,400 having to hold. At the extreme, 1408 has been tested. It has failed. If you go back and look at the charts at least on the S&P cash, hard for me to believe that we don't at least have a decent pullback back into the 1340 range at a minimum. Maybe we're gaining or trying to get enough strength to blow through this top, but we certainly don't have it now, and the volume is light. I actually checked during the break, and the volume has not started to really pick up over the last hour. I'm going to do just one more time to make sure I haven't missed anything here. Yeah, it's just we're doing about 3.5 million shares a minute. Again, to get up anywhere around 3, we're going to have to start getting up to about 6 million shares a minute. And it's we've got another hour. Get a lot of volume at the end of the day, but I'm thinking at best 3 or 3.1 million shares at this current run rate, even if we have the huge dump sell-off that we've had kind of going into the close the last few days, or at least a lot of volume in the last 5-10 minutes. I always think that maybe these dark pools are sandbagging the shares. I know they're supposed to report these shares and the sales within very short time, but no one's ever actually gone to jail for it. So I think a lot of people probably sandbagging a lot of these sales into the end of the day, but very little action. Very strange also on a day where people are, the option market makers are setting up for expiration a week from Friday. So we'll continue looking at that. Not a lot of movement and other things. Natural gas off, maybe 3 cents, kind of hovering around. Wouldn't be surprised to see one big kind of maybe 50% pullback. This thing could get back around 275 or something. Maybe start making ABC ups, but kind of gone flat out here. Don't see a lot of change in it right now. UNG's off about 21 cents, so we don't see a lot. That gold's kind of flattish today. It can't get a lot of movement going on, and the dollar index, it's up 20 cents or so, but no big deal. $82.45 certainly looks like it wants to run up to about $88 on the dollar index, and I suspect that we can get that kind of bad news any day out of Europe that would cause us to move. I'm wondering if this whole thing isn't just a smoke screen to wait until at least until the Olympics are over. So maybe we've got a few more days. Certainly looks like our market is weak, and certainly we don't have any volume. I wanted to look at a few other ones. Maybe else is Select Comfort. This is one that we've seen the sector just pretty much be horrific. Looking at this one, we're going to be out of time today, but take a look at that. It's trying to make back up to the May 25th high. It's trying on fairly light volume here today, and it could be getting a reverse. I'm short, and I'm going to be sticking that way unless I see some volume, which I don't see, and it is pitiful out there. You all have a great and safe day. We will see you tomorrow.